to, can I get a witness from the congregation? Everybody like, huh? Say it again.
What is your favorite Stuart Scott catchphrase? What's your favorite?
Probably that one right there. Because he just brought grandma from wherever. And keeping with the gospel theme here on the afternoon locker room, and he probably did this yesterday morning and people just didn't realize it. And the Lord said you got to rise up. I'm like, okay, he brought out the Arsenio Hall joint.
The congregation one is my favorite. You know I love. See what had happened was, but
and he had to get. He had to wait. He had to get in a Pookie and Ray Ray reference too. I'm like, what?
He went there with Pookie and Ray Ray and them so many times, and you cracked up every time you heard the reference.
I'm like, okay.
Have mercy.
And since he was of our generation, if you heard your favorite hip hop lyric, Stuart Scott did it.
Yeah, he did.
The last one I think I heard was it was in baseball, and to the effect. As a matter of fact, it was as recent as maybe about 3 weeks before the baseball playoffs. To the tune of "Pitch Don't Kill My Vibe." I'm like, yo, no trap behind. Woo! Stuart, go ahead.
Which one does he say a lot, especially for big hitters like Frank Thomas and David Ortiz? I'm not a player, I just crush a lot.
Yep.
Oh, legendary stuff. But knowing someone who battled cancer for a long time, as I do with my dad, and we know Stuart battled it for a while. There was one thing he said during his ESPY speech, which has now become a mantra of mine. When you die, you don't, and I quote, when you die, you don't lose to cancer. You beat cancer by how you live, why you live, and the manner in which you live. Close quote.
Yep. That's the man. Chi-Town native. Grew up in North Carolina. Went to the University of North Carolina. As a matter of fact, fellow Tar Heel Michael Jordan gave his condolences.
He told a story where he played a pickup game with MJ. And the tradition with Tar Heels, and I've seen it, and you've seen it also, going through North Carolina, if you give a good assist on a Tar Heel basket, the player who made the basket will point at you. The biggest thing for Stu was having MJ point at him when he dropped a dime to him. How about that?
Hey. The greatest always point out each other. Always. Always.
And on that, I got to go see some Blazers right now. But I will be doing my tribute to Stu tomorrow morning, and there's a special start time, folks. 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central for Snowman in the Morning Express. My tribute to Stuart Scott. A couple other notes. Tonight, Somers Ford pregame precedes Blazers Hanover Central at 7, and I will slip a couple of Stuart Scott phrases into the broadcast. Y'all will hear it tonight.
All right. Sounds good.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. That is Brian Snow joining us from Snowman in the Morning via the Verizon Wireless Hotline. Verizon Wireless and the Cellular Connection in Michigan City. Proud to help you get aboard America's most trusted 4G LTE network. I tell you, there's not a dry eye in the house anywhere in the world of sports. And I mean anywhere. I mean, the one and only time that I had the opportunity to see Stuart Scott in person, the ESPN Zone restaurant in Chicago had just opened up from my all-time favorite pizzeria up in the River North area. And they really did it up. They had like a cavalcade of Corvettes. And guess who was in one of them? Rich Eisen and Stuart Scott. I'm like, I'll be darned. Even high five, Stu. I tell you, if there was ever a Chicago original, it is indeed Stuart Scott. And to anybody battling any type of disease, especially this reporter sitting here still battling the effects of chronic heart failure and doing the best that I can, the words of Stuart Scott from that SB speech still resonate with me, still resonate with those still battling, and still resonate with anyone who has had to overcome to get to where they are. So from all of us here at the Afternoon Locker Room and the Arena Sports Network, a tip of the cap and a lowering of the headset in memory of the late, great Stuart Scott. Booyah. Wild Card Weekend coming up next. And we've emphasized the word wild. That's exactly what it was. The Afternoon Locker Room presented by Gigahertz continues after this on the Arena Sports Network.
When your vehicle needs service, look no further than Sowers Ford, a Ford dealer like no other. Our state-of-the-art service department is fully staffed with certified technicians who can handle anything from routine maintenance to the most difficult diesel repair, brakes, tires, and batteries. Sowers Ford Service has it all. Sowers Ford, serving Michigan City and surrounding communities. Sowers Ford Lincoln, 3930 Franklin, Michigan City, 219-879-5381, or visit us at SowersFord.com.
Have you heard the good news about a crazy dream based on the belief that positive breeds positive and that people want to read, hear, and watch stuff about good people? Have you heard the good news about a place you can go to enjoy positive, community-oriented information about the town, city, or region you live in and the people involved? Have you heard the good news about a place where you can celebrate what is right in the world, share it with your friends, family, and community, and neighbors at school, work, or place of worship, and have fun doing it? Well, there is such a place. That place is LaPorteCountyLife.com. LaPorteCountyLife.com is all about the positive, not the negative, bringing out the best and not the worst, and all about promoting positivity in your community. LaPorteCountyLife.com. Have you heard the good news?
Afternoon Locker Room here on the Arena Sports Network. Alvin Austin in the building. First news show of 2015. Glad you could come along. 573-200-6505. Connect with us. Let us know what's going on in your world. Some interesting news to bring to you before we get into our NFL talk. Looks like the ramping up to bring NFL football back to L.A. is there again. Stan Kroenke, the owner of the St. Louis Rams, is now purchasing some 60 acres of land to build an 80,000-seat stadium in Inglewood, right around the corner from where the Forum used to be. Interesting. Is that going to force the Raiders' hands? Because public sentiment has leaned toward the Raiders returning to Los Angeles for quite some time. Who knows? It's still too early to tell, but this purchase of land might be in preemptive strike, if you think about it. Ron Rivera, the head coach of the Carolina Panthers, won and lost this past weekend. His Panthers won their game against the Arizona Cardinals this past week. And more on that in a little bit. However, they had to escape a house fire, being him and his family. Rivera told reporters in Charlotte that he heard smoke detectors going off, and Panther spokesman Charlie Dayton confirmed that everybody in the house got out safely. That's big. But it's going to set Ron Rivera back some serious coin. It was started by the fireplace, and it's going to set the Rivera family back some $500,000. Man. It's a good thing that they understood how to get out. Because, most fires these days, folk don't make it out. I've seen a few up here in Chicago. It's heart-wrenching when that happens. So, good to see somebody make it out alive. More not so good news. The USA ski team had a couple of prospects die in an avalanche at their European training base. According to the Associated Press, 20-year-old Ronnie Burlack and a 19-year-old Bryce Assel died in the incident near the Rettenbach Glacier in the mountains over Solden, the venue for the annual season-opening World Cup races. Burlack from Franconia, New Hampshire, and Assel from Sandy, Utah, were part of a group of six skiers who were descending from the nearly 3,100-meter Galashkogel when they left the prepared slope and apparently set off the avalanche. The other four skied out of the slide and escaped unhurt. Officials in that region said an avalanche alert had been declared after heavy days of snowfall and temperature. So our hearts do go out to the families of Ronnie Burlack and Bryce Assel, again, unfortunately killed in an avalanche training for the World Cup. More boys behaving badly in the NFL. This time it's the Saints' turn to feel the wrath. Junior Gillette, a linebacker for the Saints, was arrested on a misdemeanor charge of simple battery involving domestic violence for allegedly pushing a woman to the ground while trying to get her to leave his home. Police in Metairie say the 26-year-old Gillette was arrested and taken into custody after the disturbance at his home Monday, shortly before 10 a.m., which actually just happened this morning. An acquaintance described as Gillette's cousin, Terrence Banks Jr., was also booked on a misdemeanor simple battery charge after the incident. Now, under the new personal conduct policy in the NFL, Gillette could face a 6-game suspension as a first-time offender. NFL spokesman Greg Aiello said the league is looking into the matter, as are the Saints. Hall of Fame ballot for the Baseball Hall of Fame has now been released.